what's your plans or how do you replace TJ? I guess.
That's the challenge. Randy. I think really with all our positions, I think, a year ago we lost Anthony. Will McDonald. You're searching to find those replacements. You feel like with the guys that we're able to play at the end of the season with Darian Porter, with his length and size, and again being over there now a couple years. You hope that's an easy transition. I think Tez has done a great job. John Tez Williams done a great job for us. Got a lot of valuable reps last year. Played at a high level. Had a great off season here to this point. So you feel like you've got some numbers. Finding out exactly who those guys are. That's the challenge of spring ball. But really feel good about with. The way our guys have prepped here in the last 8 weeks going into spring. So who specifically that is, I think there are numbers there, which is probably for us better than it's been, here maybe in the last handful of years. We feel like we've got a good group of guys to pick from.
To piggyback off Randy's question, how valuable then is it to have Bo, Miles, both with, I think, 25 career starts back there, and then, of course, Malik, the experience he has, and even across the defense, you've got experienced guys at every level to help anybody at any of those spots.
Sure, we do, and I think that's one of the, I think the great challenges. And again, it's creating a lot of competition. I think a lot of the things have improved in the off season due to that. I think, simple things, being on time. Not missing things, just little lists that we've kept for 40 years that, in the off season, things you handle, appointments, all of that stuff. The minuses have been very minimal, and I think that's due to competition. If you're not doing it, somebody else is. And that's the blessing we have really at every position right now on our side of the ball. And I think it's great for our team, to be honest.
You probably haven't seen these guys as much as like the strength and conditioning staff, but the January additions, what are you hearing from like the strength staff or, how those defensive newcomers have looked?
Yeah, Bill, I think it's been really positive. I think that's the one thing. I think you always are trying to keep in mind that they have just gotten here. They've been in college for 8 weeks. So I think you always keep that in perspective. We have seen them work. We have had our morning workouts, our mat drills, our 6 a.m. challenges, all those kind of things. We divide it up amongst all the coaches, different teams. So we've seen young people from every position. We all have a different team, and all the different positions and offense and defense and specialists, and all of our teams are made up of those people. So we've gotten to work with those guys even behind the scenes on the other side of the ball. So it's been very positive. I think, again, it's a great challenge for those young people, but I think they've all handled it extremely well, to be honest. All good things.
That linebacking crew, it was young last season, probably not young experience-wise now, but this spring, what are you going to be looking for from guys like Will McLaughlin and Jack Sadowski?
Well, you hope to see some great improvement. I think with all that group, I think there were times a year ago, and you guys were all here. I think we played really well at times. I think we played very average at times, and I think at times we didn't play very well on defense. And so I think you're looking for consistency from all those guys. You need Will McLaughlin and Bacon and Joey Peterson and Dom Orange and go down through the list. Miles Purchase, like everybody got to play great all the time. And that becomes the challenge to me of this spring for our coaching staff and our players is every single minute of every day be the best you can be, and not just when things are good or when things aren't going good, or it's a Tuesday or it's a big game, or it all has to be great all the time. And you can't play great defense without it. And like I said, I think there were times a year ago, that young crew played great defense. I think that young crew played very average defense, and I think that young crew, players and coaches, we're not very good. And I think that's the challenge when you look at veterans' experience coming back. Can you use that to be really good every single snap, every day? Practice 1, practice 8, practice 15, scrimmage 2, scrimmage 3. And I think that's the great challenge for this group, players and coaches.
One position that you guys have had a lot of consistency at is corner with TJ. He obviously departs. What are you looking for from that group this spring with obviously a starting spot potentially up for grabs?
Well, as I stated earlier, I think, you're just talking about, the reps that those guys get. We've got some bodies in there. We probably have 7 or 8 corners now. And feel like, even we talked, maybe one of those safeties could move down and play corner to get some depth. But probably have the numbers there, more numbers than we've had that have some experience. And so I think it'll be great competition, and I think that's what you're looking for. And I resort back to what I said earlier, who can do it every day, every practice. Not on just one period, or not during 7-on-7, or not during team, like all day long, all spring long, all summer long, all fall camp long, all season long. And I think that's where our team has to grow on our side of the ball specifically.
To follow up, defensive line is a position group where you're returning everyone. What's the value of returning everyone across the line of scrimmage?
The same, and I think a year older up there, to be fair. I think a year older, bigger, faster, stronger. I think at times we were overwhelmed up there a little bit with younger bodies. And I think at times we the physicalness of the game, the longer the season went, younger bodies, that has a toll on them. I think it happened a little bit too at linebacker. So the development of those kids physically as much as anything, and then add in the mental aspect of the game of learning not just what I'm doing, but what everybody else around me is doing. And I think the growth in those areas for us, especially that group up front. And those guys have had a great winter. I mean, Coach Kagi and his staff, nutrition, Nicole, that group, the mental side of it with Katie, like that. Those people have done a great job off the field and with those guys. And I think I look forward to seeing what is really going to happen. I mean, you're going to see some bodies out there that look completely different. I mean, Ike, for instance, is up to probably 275. Holy smokes. Whole different guy if he walked in here. And so there's some of that. Now we got to go play, and that's the next step.
Jon, you mentioned Damian Porter earlier on, and just wonder what's his ceiling, because last year, it feels like because of his length and because of how athletic he is and how good he is upstairs.
Right.
Seems like at the very minimum at the next level he could transfer into a special teams type of
Right.
guy. I mean, what's the ceiling here and beyond? You think?
Yeah, I'm not sure we know that, to be honest. I think his ceiling's unlimited. I think he's a great young man. I think for those guys, and even like TJ a few years ago, the confidence to come play defense is different. It's not what you've always done. And so he's a guy that's constantly building confidence within himself. And I think he's earned our confidence. I think we all believe in him. And I think, at times you got to believe in himself to go do it. And he can run. He's tough. He's been on special teams here, which is not an easy thing to do. Not everybody loves special teams. If you're going to be great, and, we just had Anthony Johnson come in and talk to our defense. And, one of the questions was, are you on special teams? And his answer was, if you're not on special teams, you're not playing in the NFL. Okay. Fair, and I think that resonates with all our players. Like, you better understand the importance of it. DP's one of those guys that started out on special teams, so he's tough, can run. Not everybody can play special teams. Jake Hummel's another guy that started here for 2 years really on special teams and didn't play much defense. He's still playing. And so I think special teams gives him a lot of confidence, and he's done a great job for us. So I'm excited about DP. I think he's shown great growth and excited about it.
Along with that defensive line group, what are you looking forward to seeing from Kennard, and what does he kind of provide for that unit?
Well, he does come with a little bit of experience, so that's what we're hopeful for. When you add those guys, your whole purpose is to give your team some depth and some added numbers there, especially up front. And his off season for 8 weeks has been really, really good, and really pleased with his mindset, his accepting of the team concept, maturity, work hard. He's not on any lists, and continues just to get better. Now we'll add football to it, and that's another step that he'll have to take, learning the defense and the calls and all the terminology and all the different things that we do with our defense, because it is different. You don't come here playing, a lot of guys don't come in here playing what we play. and so that's different. And so, you know, we hope that he gives us the depth, some pass rush ability. He's shown that on videotape, that he can win one-on-one matchups, and you know, we'll look forward to seeing some of that as it develops in the spring. A great question.